how many days do you think it will take, if y'all just had to say, for an average woman? Well, how many dates do you think it will take? Because the men want to know.
I'm on a 90-day rule.
For romance.
Personally.
Oh, you on a 90-day?
Yes.
Okay.
90
days.
90
days? Do you like them?
90 days, yeah.
Lord, give me a man with a big Zozo. Give me a man who just is loving on me and doing all the consistent things, and his actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
How many chances are you going to give for somebody to get it right in the bed?
I'm not going to lie. No. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Kiki, back with a much-needed episode of Girl Talk. How y'all doing? Listen, last week, me and the girls, we went viral. I'm talking about viral. I'm talking about everybody is saying, when is the next episode? When is the next episode? So we are here to give you guys what you're looking for. And we are going to go ahead and introduce ourselves yet again, starting over here.
Hey, y'all, Spice.
Yes, Spicy.
Hey, y'all, it's Sherelle.
Sherelle.
Hi, it's Moxie.
Yes, Moxie, the girl that has been the thumbnail of all of the viral clips. We love it, we adore it, and we are happy that you guys are here today. Y'all ready to get into the conversation?
Let's get into it.
All right, don't be scared. Are y'all scared?
Nah, hell no.
I'm not scared of no smoke.
Y'all not scared at all? Y'all not scared of the smoke?
Nah, let's do it.
All right, here we go. So women, when you get in relationships, why is it that we put so much pressure on the men to act as a husband, to provide and protect, when we're simply just dating?
Ooh.
What's the reason behind it?
Personally, I don't feel like I do that.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I know where we fall and I act accordingly. Because I'm not going to act like a wife when I'm a girlfriend, and I don't expect you to do the same thing.
Okay.
I disagree.
You disagree?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. I expect you to, basically dating is a husband in training. You're a wife in training. I do agree that you shouldn't do certain things because men will take it and run with it. And, if you're doing all the things before marriage, why would he get down on one knee? But how is he supposed to see if you are wife material, or how are you supposed to see if he's husband material if you guys are always holding back because you're not there yet.
Well, that's why things progress. Like, that's why you go from girlfriend to fiance, because then you, little by little, you start to do more, which then reflects that, we're ready to take it to the next step. That's how I feel. So it's like, I'm not saying don't do anything that would make you a wife.
Right.
But I think some things you would reserve for your husband.
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay, so the question is, why do we feel the pressure to make them a husband or play wifey before?
Yes, men feel pressured to act as a husband, which is providing,
I think it depends.
Protecting when they're not our husbands yet.
I think it depends on the level age-wise, because when you get to a certain age, they say when you get to 30, you're like, okay, I got to get my eggs cracked. My grandma been wanting a baby forever. So you feel that kind of pressure, but at the same time, you just want to know if he's husband material.
Right,
you want to know if this is going to be the one, and you don't want to waste your time.
Yeah, just like they're going to expect you to cook for them. Once you get to that stage in the relationship, they're going to want to at least know, can you cook?
Right,
can you make some decent meals? Maybe it's not a every night slaving over the stove type of thing, but they're going to want to know, is it there?
So are you guys acting like wives when you're only considered a girlfriend?
This stage, I'm not. I'm showing him that I have motherly qualities because I have nieces and nephews. I can cook for myself, more than just pasta. But I'm not allowing him to just have keys to my place. I'm not just allowing him to be there every single night. I'm not allowing him, there's just certain things that you need to pause on, and I'm not giving it up every single time because, some things are just reserved.
I agree, definitely.
I'm not
Can we go back to that? Because Key does not agree, okay?
Yeah, because why? If he's already getting it every single night, then how does he want to progress?
No, I agree with that because even, when you're dating, before you get that ring, a lot of women just jump right into wife mode or girlfriend mode. And that's how a lot of women end up very unhappy and feel like, oh, well, he stopped doing this and he's not doing that anymore. He did a lot to pursue me, but he's not doing it anymore. And the reason why is because you gave him everything that he thought he had to work for before.
Yeah.
So I do agree with that.
Okay. Moxie, I know you said you do not act like a wife in the girlfriend stage.
Right.
Why?
So I think that there are just certain boundaries. So like we mentioned, it's like, okay, you can come over, but not every night.
Yeah.
You can be in my crib, but you're not gonna have my keys. I think it's just simple things like that, really.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
Okay, because that was my next question. Like, what is wifely duties?
Yeah.
We're saying, okay, I'm going to be your girlfriend, but not act as your wife. But what is the differentiation between the two? Because we're still having sex.
Yeah.
We're still probably cooking a meal for them. We're still probably buying them things on Christmas, birthdays, holidays, Father's Day if they have children. So what is really that on-off switch? And I guess it's what you guys were saying.
What they
I think
said
it's the level of
makes sense.
access, really. So let's
Yes.
say if I'm a
Yes.
girlfriend, you have 75% access to me, but if we're husband and wife, that's 100% because now we
Yes.
move as one. We're not separate anymore.
I was gonna say moving in, I think is on my list. I wouldn't move in before like that engagement type
Would
Right,
not.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think I
Would
agree
not
with
move
that,
in.
yeah.
Would not
Yeah,
recommend.
I think that's
No.
the number one way you can find yourself as a live-in wife with no
For
ring.
sure.
Okay.
Would not recommend.
Okay, now this is my thoughts on it. I think
If y'all don't be on Key's close friends, you're missing out.
listen, for me, I just feel like when you're true to yourself, you behave in a certain fashion.
Right.
And if that is wifely duties, then so be it. I'm
Right.
speaking for me personally. So there isn't too much I'm going to reserve for someone that's investing in me and showing me the same thing because I don't want to I don't want to make you think I'm your wife when I'm really not. If
Right.
you're sick, I'm going to come over with the essential oils. I'm going to come over with the candles. I'm going to come
course.
over with, whatever I need to do to nurse you to good health. I'm not going to reserve that because, well, you didn't ask me to be your fiance. Or if you want a meal, I'm going to make sure I cook that for you. If you want to whatever, I'm going to make sure it gets done. As far as the differentiation between girlfriend, fiance, wife, I think that goes more into the business part of it, which could be.
I love that you said that.
Yes, because the thing is, we husband and wife, as far as I'm concerned, once it becomes legal, that's when it's looked at or viewed by the government and others as a legal binding
Right.
union. But that's the business part. Okay, we are going to move in together.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
we are probably going to start having kids or start a business or so on and so forth. But other than that, you better be acting like my husband off top.
I was gonna say
Because more than likely, I'm going to be acting like your wife off
Right.
top.
Yeah.
Like, because I love you for real. And I'm not, my love is unconditional. And there's nothing that I won't do to see you move forward and feel better and look well because
Right.
I expect you to be doing that same thing.
Yeah.
So,
No, definitely.
in my head,
Dating-
thank you to my man. Because I feel like the right man is going to bring that out of you. You're not even going to know.
100%.
They do.
You're not even gonna know that you are even acting like a wife until you're doing the wifely things. Like,
Fendi facts.
this is not even what I'm used to doing.
Yeah.
This is not even what I'm used to saying. So I think it just takes that right man to tap
Right.
I do believe
into
that.
it because
but a lot of people, I would say, like, kind of deal with dating in a very strategic way. So
Okay.
I do understand, like, withholding some things because sometimes you don't know people's true intentions until a year and a half, maybe even 2 years.
It better not be that
So, no, you would be surprised in the first year. If you haven't been dating someone more than a year, you have not seen their true self yet. I wholeheartedly agree with that.
But to what you were saying, I think Moxie touched on it. It's progression.
Yeah. Right.
So of course, as soon as you get my number, I'm not gonna be, oh, babe, you sick, oh, babe, you.
Right.
That
Right.
takes time.
For
I have
sure.
to see who you are as a man. I got to see
Yeah.
your character. I got to see your behavior. I got to see your patterns, your schedules, how you treat me. How often do we talk? Do we text? Do we FaceTime? Do you come over?
Right.
Like, what type of man are you?
Right.
And then from there,
Yes.
then of course, but I'm not off top
No.
giving no man
Right.
anything.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely
The
agree with
investments
that.
has
Yeah.
to be there.
Yes.
But yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
So okay, so now that puts us to our next topic, girls.
Okay.
Okay, so we're talking about dating. This is the beginning phases, okay?
Okay.
So this is not somebody we in love with. This is not our man's. This is not the man
We
that
talking.
It's not.
that we cook and clean
Not our
for. This is
man.
the
Right.
beginning.
Okay.
This is before we really knew him all the way, okay?
Okay.
So in the dating phase, how many dates does it take for men to have an expectation of romance? Now, the reason that I asked this question,
That's interesting. Okay.
there was a video posted online, and the woman went on a date with this man. They went on a nice date. I don't know where, but he felt that it was a nice date. At the end of the date, she wanted to go home, okay? The man said, I took you out on X amount of dates. I took you to this place that you said you wanted to go to. Why are you not coming back to my place? Like, I've done this and I've done that. I've done everything that you've asked for, and now I'm not getting anything in return. And everyone was on two different sides. So, you know, the men feel like if I'm putting out, it's the entitlement. If I'm putting out, I want something in return. And the women feel like, okay, you took me on a date or two. I'll do it when I'm ready. So where do you guys feel? I know you said entitlement. Are the men entitled when it comes to dating?
Yes, they are. Men are very entitled, and they want to say that women, you know, want this and that and that and this. But the reason why is because men think that they can get a little hoo-ha after, you know, 1, 2, 3 dates, or think it has a number on it. And dating is meant to get to know one another. It sounds like he took her on the date and expected the connection to be there. And, you know, now he's moving in well, why aren't we there yet? Maybe, you know, maybe she's still figuring you out. Maybe she actually waits until she falls in love. It's a lot of girls that they're not going to have sex with you until you make a commitment to them. So I think it's very entitled statement.
It's the entitlement.
To think. Yeah.
I think a true gentleman does not put that pressure on you.
Yeah.
I truly know that a true gentleman doesn't put that pressure on you. And also a guy knows where you land. I mean, if he's an advanced dater, let's say, right? Like he knows where you are. Like, man, we just out here, we kicking it, whatever happens, happens. Or I'm talking to her, I have the intentions to really be with this girl, and if she don't want to move that fast, then that's okay too.
Then I'm gonna respect
a real gentleman ain't gonna push up on you, but a slime ball,
Mm.
He's gonna do the most.
Yeah. He's trying to get in and get out as quickly as possible. So he's the one that's on the time limit. Like, well, why hasn't this happened yet? Oh, I did this, that, and the third. Oh, I paid for that. Oh, I gave you that. Where is my, reciprocation? Because he's looking for that quick, gratification.
Yeah, don't have so much expectations. I feel like the expectations will lead to disappointment. I think enjoy your time, know what you want. Like, this is what I want. He may not know everything, but if you have this high expectation, you will be disappointed if he doesn't meet it,
Yeah.
Right. No, I think I have to agree. I feel like, is it unfair for a man to expect something at the end of the date? No. Most men expect at least a kiss.
For sure.
At least from my experience. So they're expecting some sort of connection. And I think for a lot of men, that connection is physical touch. Now, I don't think you should go all the way from dinner to now we smashing all of a sudden. I think that's wildly outrageous for many reasons. And to be honest, if you wanted a price on the coochie, you should have just gone and bought it.
And that's what I was going to say. If you have that expectation to say, okay, I've invested in 2 dates and I brought you flowers, that's
wrong.
Whatever that equates to, you should have just off top said, this is what I'm looking for. Can you provide that? No. But also I think it's an ego thing as well, because we do know there are women out there, OnlyFans, people that do meetups. They don't even have to be OnlyFans. There are women that will easily say, let me get the 200 for whatever. Let me get the 300, whatever that number is. But they don't want those women. They want to have a woman that has that connection, like we said. And then they want to, manipulate them into thinking it's something that it's not. And then when they don't get the cookie, then it's a problem. Yeah. When you could just easily go to the woman that will do it for the two.
Yeah. But don't you feel like you can tell when a guy's intention is that on the date?
Yeah.
Whether it be the first date or second. Don't you think you can feel like when the guy's like, ooh, he's doing all this trying to showboat just to get...
And then he'll try to
get you back to his house before the date even starts.
Conversations to where I can probably read the situation. So I'm thankful to say that I've never had a situation where after the date they've been like, well, we did this, this, and this, and I bought you flowers. So where is that? I've never in my life, because I try to vet them as much as I can.
Yes. Vet. For sure.
And that's the thing, the conversations. Right. You could say, they'll ask you, what are you doing? And it's like, I just got home from work. I'm about to take a bath. Oh, without me? Right. Like, we know.
Yeah, they're just eager.
We know what that means.
Yes.
We know what that means.
Exactly.
Or, they're saying little things or doing little things like, it's not, we're not even there yet.
Yeah.
So
Right.
why
Or asking
Are you-
about your favorite position, things like that.
But you know what? I think guys do that. Not all, obviously, but a lot of guys do that because a lot of women also have their hand out the first date too.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have your hand out and you're like, give me, instead of just waiting to see if a guy is going to, make sure you're good and take care of you, that's where they get that mindset where, let me beat her to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I will say,
That's
since I moved here, I have been on a lot of, just the patience is not there between men and women. I've been on a lot of dates where I was actually into the guy. I did want to see where it goes, but by date 2, he's already, oh, what are we doing after the date? Oh, do you want to come over and after dinner we can have breakfast in the morning? And it just gets into this like very like I have to get it now because I don't know what's gonna happen later. And I think that does come from a lot of just like the culture down here, and the girls, they have the pussy, and the men, they have the money. So they want, they both just want it quickly, and they don't really want to have that happen organically.
That high expectation.
I'm happy that you said that, because I was going to say, I think a lot of women actually ruin it I don't want to say ruin it, because of course somebody's own game room does not impact your own. But I mean, as far as the overall approach. So you're probably used to, if you have a nice car, or, you have a reputation, or, men these days, they have the chains and the watches. If they have those things, a lot of women, they look at that and they glorify it and they throw themselves at those type of men. So let's just say, for instance, that said man is now interested in you. He thinks that you are also, enamored by the things that he has.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not that same girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may be a little interested in you because, I do like your car.
Yeah.
But it's not the same. Like, it's not this, like, don't play with me. Like, know who to play with and know who not to play with. And I think a lot of the women, they're so quick to latch onto these men, to give it up to these men, that they think they can maneuver like that in the dating world. So when they come across a woman that's saying, yeah, no, thank you for the date. Have a good night. I'll talk to you in the morning. They looking like, well, what the heck is going on here? Like, do you think you're too good for me? I done took you on 2 dates. I bought you flowers. What's going on?
Yeah,
and it's like,
you have to check them. You do.
Yeah.
Because they honestly respect it more. They're just not used to it.
Yeah.
So don't go into it like, oh, if you're new to Miami, come to Miami or whatever, the culture around here is very different and it is very fast paced. So if you run into people that are from here, they're used to a certain expectation, but it doesn't mean that they can't be, molded a little bit and act accordingly and act, come correct.
okay, so how many days do you think it will take? If y'all just had to say, for an average woman, how many dates do you think it will take? Because the men want to know.
I'm on a 90-day rule.
For romance.
Personally.
Oh, you on a 90-day?
Yes.
Okay.
90
Cat.
days.
90 days?
90
If you like them?
90 days, yeah.
Okay.
90 days.
Okay, so let me just say this, because we grown. I've
I'm just
had
regular grown.
experience where it could be the first date, which has landed me into a 6-year relationship after bagged and tagged.
Normally
You
those
are mine,
are always
right?
long-term relationships.
Girl.
Okay, but was it a good
Right?
relationship?
It was
They
it was a learning experience. I was 18, I was 18.
Sometimes I've had that experience too, where it landed me into a long-term relationship, but some of the worst relationships ever because we didn't really know each other before we got, involved in those sexual, intimate feelings.
Yeah, I was younger, so I'm just speaking from this specific, time, but 18 and then landed in a 6-year relationship. But I also think that the 90-day thing, if you're attracted, you like somebody, you guys are grown, like, and you feel like this person is really for you, you have to be discerning, You can't just go into it because that 90 days, he could wait the 90 days and be a demon, a straight legion,
I mean, but 90 days is a long time to at least try to get to know someone before
So what if you wait
things
90
happen.
days and the sex is trash?
And I
That's
cut them off. Time for me is not like I mean, I know I'm getting older and all this, but I'm not like in a rush, especially when it comes to like the person I'm going to share my life with. So yeah, like I'll wait 30 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, like.
Well, I will say this. My current relationship, I waited 2 months, but it wasn't intentionally. It was like he was showing me that he is a gentleman. Yeah. Like, it was no pressure.
Yeah,
like,
it's not, and it's not so strict that I'm like counting down the 90 days, but it is going to be sometime. It's not going to be on the first, second, or third date.
Yeah.
And, I think that's very beneficial just to protect yourself as a woman, because men, whether they like to admit it or not, they're going to see you as easier the quicker it happens.
I was just going to say, what is the success rate with that in comparison to what you used to do? Do you think it helps you pick out your men better? Do you feel like you're a little bit more happier, at peace? Like, just for the women out there that, maybe a little bit more promiscuous, which I don't even like that word. Or I'm just going to say, give it up before the 90 days versus doing it after the 90 days. Like, what is the difference that you see?
The main difference to me would just be like the respect. So now we're on kind of the same playing fields. A lot of times men will meet a woman and think everything's going to be easy for them. They think she's going to fuck me on the first day. I'm going to have her cooking by week 2. She's going to be, on her knees, rubbing my feet by the end of the month. And why that happens is because a lot of steps that maybe some other girls that they took their time with or more wanted to get to know, they didn't immediately jump into bed with them. So it's not like, men like a challenge at the end of the day.
For sure.
Even if they try to, we both don't really do this and we're both just feeling the vibe, they might probably still wake up at the end of the day and be like, why was that so easy? How many dudes has she done this with? So it's really just to protect yourself. If you really do like someone, I believe you should wait because they will respect you more.
Okay. Yeah. Moxie, how do you feel about the 90 days? Because you've been real quiet when we talked about this 90 days, and I have to get in on that.
So me personally, 90 days is 3 months. I'm not waiting 3 months. Baby, my time.
Yeah, what are we doing?
But I'm going to be honest, I very rarely get intrigued by men these days. Like, I rarely have the time. Let me put it that way. And so I'm not trying to rush into anything. Certainly not his bad. Let's be very clear. But at the same time, I think my average is probably like 4 or 5 dates. And I feel like, because some men will be like, okay, let's fit all these 5 dates into like 1 week.
Right, that's why I don't say dates,
Right, not in that respect. But I would say probably somewhere around a month and a half, 2 months, to where we've been talking consistently. We've been seeing each other consistently. I'm not going to put a number on dates because I don't feel like that's very rational. You know what I mean? But I do feel like I need to take some time to make sure I'm feeling safe. Yeah. For me, it's all about feeling safe.
Yeah, for
Can I be vulnerable with you? Because laying with you is vulnerability, in my opinion. So.
And I think if you're doing it, do it for you. Don't do it for him. Like, if you're someone who has a one-night stand or you want to sleep after 4 or 5 dates, do it because you want to. And not because you feel pressure to do it.
Yeah.
And again, it's all different, age and levels of where you are in your dating life.
Yeah.
Me, I'm going to God about this because I ain't got time to be playing with you no more. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I feel that.
For me, I think there's no true formula to it per se. Other than, like you were saying, I have to feel ready.
Right.
I gotta feel safe, and I gotta feel that tension. I gotta feel that heat and that chemistry because, to be honest, I have ran across wonderful men. I'm talking about, like, you taking me on dates, you got the flowers, you probably paid my car note. I don't know what you've done, but, like, if I don't feel that, I don't give a damn what you did. Like, I'm not going to take that step with you. I have to feel chemistry. I got to feel that compatibility.
Absolutely.
And you got to have a little sex appeal too. Like, I can feel safe around a man all day. I feel safe with the men over here, but it has to be more. It has to be more. And if you're not tapping into that, and a lot of times it's more on an intellectual level, like, they have to connect with me on a lot of different planes for me to be like, okay, it's time. It's time. I don't care if you're ready, but I'm ready.
Right.
Yeah.
We ready.
Yeah.
And it's about
That's
to
what I
go
like
down.
too. Like, I need to see if they can withstand that period. Like, it really wards away a lot of losers that are not going to wait. If you kind of just let it be known, not let them be known you have a 90-day rule, but just let it be known it's not happening anytime soon. Yeah, they will trickle away because they're not going to wait, period. Yeah. And I don't need them to be around me anyway.
That's in general. Like, you give it time because eventually your true self is going to appear.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly.
That's why you should
all
give it
that
time.
faking around and,
That's why I said the whole, like, you can't really give a 90 days because if the chemistry's there, if the vibes are right, if things are happening and it's emotion and your discernment and it's saying he's going to be here for a while and I want him, then whenever it happens.
But that's a way, if you do it too soon, it's a way to get him to not be around.
For sure.
I think the average is back. Like, the question was, what's the average for most women? I want to say 3 dates because a lot of women aren't even going on dates.
Damn. So they just out
a lot of women are not going on dates.
Damn.
Yes, but also a lot of women don't require dates either.
Yeah. You saw the comments.
A lot of women
going to
are
Chipotle.
okay with just pulling up and vibing, which for me, pulling up and vibing is somewhere towards the middle of us already being together. Like, they come pull up or whatever, because now we spending quality time. Because we're already together. We're already established. Like, in the beginning phases, I'm not pulling up and vibing anywhere.
Okay.
Like, first of all, I'm gonna get real cute and you're gonna take my pictures in front of this nice behind wine cellar right here. That's what you're about to do. I'm sorry. But a lot of women don't require that. They're good with the little phone call, a little pull up, a little Netflix and chill. Like, I didn't even know Netflix and chill was still a thing in 2024. Like, I thought that was a 2020 thing during the...
But it depends on...
It depends
I feel like
on
the age. I feel like, a lot of...
Let me say this. I will pull up and chill before we are boyfriend and girlfriend because I want to make sure that the connection is there past the first date and past you trying to impress me. That does not mean I'm going to Netflix and chill with you, though. And that does not mean that we are going to be in some private, secluded... Like, that is not what that means to me.
Yes.
So I think saying you won't pull up and chill is a little different because it's like... Sometimes it really just be like that. Maybe I just got off a set and you're free and we can just, I want to see you. I want to spend time with you. And it's not just about us sitting at a table and you busting down the check. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's still a little necessary. It's just a matter of how fast you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Correct. And I'm not willing to do it fast.
Right. Me neither.
I'm not willing to do it fast because...
You have to know.
I have to know. I have to be at a certain level with you for me to pull up and chill. I don't mind pulling up and chill.
Well, do you think it's because it can easily progress to something else?
I was gonna say
no,
that's
I just don't want to. I just rather do something else. I don't know. Like, it's not necessarily like if I come, I feel like we're going to be sexual and I'm not ready. Right. But like, why you not trying to take me? No, I like to do things. Yeah. I'm sorry. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive all the time. It does not have to be a $200 check. We could go do laser tag. We could go to Dave & Buster's, anything. But I feel like in the beginning phases, I'm not just trying to like be on a casual vibe with you because I don't know you yet. I don't know you. I don't know where you live. Of course, I'm going to get to know those things. But in the beginning, I like to be a little bit more formal. I'm not gonna lie.
Sure.
Because that's just the foot I'm trying to step on. Now, if it boils down to, hey, I'm in your area, you home, okay, I'm finna pull up real quick, like give me a little hug or whatever.
Yeah.
Once we get to that, but of course we have to get to that level for me to feel comfortable enough to pull up, give you a hug, give you a little kiss, and okay, good night, babe. Like, all right, I love him.
For me, it has to be quick because, like, I definitely agree. I try not to get into any situation that can be like misconstrued as too comfortable or, you came over and I was expecting blah, blah, blah. So let's just keep it outside in public areas before I get to know you. Before we're really smashing, there's no reason for you to be in my house or me to be at yours because you're going to be trying to, what's your room look like? Let's just go in there. Like, no, we can just
Because if you're going over, just know that he is expecting something. If you have not established that relationship with him where you know he's a gentleman, so if you're going over, it's nothing. But most of the times, just know if you pulling up at 10, 11 o'clock at night, he's expecting something.
Yeah, definitely.
I think. But
the cuddles turn into this and that.
I'm not going to nobody's house at 10, 11 o'clock at night unless.
He's expecting something.
Yeah.
Unless, because other than
Unless
that,
you
I
got
can
that
sleep in my
overnight bag?
comfortable bed.
Correct.
I can sleep in my bed. I'm not going to nobody's house at 10 or 11 p.m. to vibe. I'm letting you know that now. Call it what you wanna. Because when you go to a man's house at 10, 11 o'clock at night, let's
it
be for
says
real,
something.
you're going to be harassed all night. Like,
Yeah.
it just is what it is. Like, babe, let me
Wow.
just...
For sure.
Let me just, like, you're going to be pulled and tugged on.
For sure.
And it's not even necessarily like in harassment. Like, it's biology.
know
They're
what it
men,
is.
we are women. We know what it is. They're attracted to us. We're coming over. We know what hours it is. It's time to lay down.
Right.
It's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
So we know what's going on. So for me, unless it's about to go down, baby, I'll see you in the morning. Like, we can
Right.
go to sleep on FaceTime, do whatever. But I'm going to sleep in my
sure.
bed.
Yeah.
For sure.
Other than that, I'll see you during daytime hours, and we
Yeah.
can let that be what that is, because it's gonna go down with me. I'm letting you know that now. If I pull up at 12, don't play. So we've been talking about the dating phases and expectations, so on and so forth. And a lot of men feel like they are now being pressured, or they are feeling obligated to take care of women before they reach a certain level with women, that if they are not leading with money, they will be overlooked. Are we the reason for this? What's the cause that men feel like if they don't lead with money, they're going to be overlooked for the next guy?
Rappers, Instagram models, the age of technology, the illusion of choice. I mean, the list goes on. And it's so, right now, the only thing that's differentiating you is your pockets and your beauty.
Yeah.
So you're reaching for this Instagram model, and you know her DMs are on fire. The only way she's gonna let you know that you can beat out the rest is if you spend that check, baby. Come up off it.
Okay.
Now, is it right? Because I've had a man tell me before, it's just like my homeboy, oh, he feels like dick and money. And so, it was a little funny to hear a man say it, but I'm realizing it is really true. But my point to him was, okay, so if you recognize that from her, move on.
Yeah.
Like I always say, it's not going to be every man, it's not going to be every woman.
Right.
So once you see that red flag, you got to just keep it going.
Say
Y'all
it
are
loud,
feeding,
Amasi. Come
y'all
on.
are feeding into this whole, well, I'm going to spend it because I want her. Well, if you don't want a woman you got to spend it on, find another one. Like, it's never been that hard.
And who's to
I
say
was
she
gonna-
wants you even if you trying to spend it? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
who's to say that? But how do I know that you really fuck with me if you don't invest in me?
Yeah.
If you know I have this little business and you haven't set aside an opportunity for me to have, certain supplies that I need, how do I know that you really like me? It has to be deeper than just taking me out to dinner, because I can take myself out. It has to be deeper. How do I know you like me if you don't even invest in me?
Yeah.
And that goes vice versa.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Well, I was gonna say, I think it's the new generation in general, and the generation that we live in does not have a lot of two-parent households. So what we are missing is that you are supposed to court and, do things for your woman. That's what men have done for the past 100, 200, 500 years. Back in the day, or in other countries, they have literal dowries for their women. If they don't pay, they don't get to marry that woman. So I think in this modernized society, it has become more, okay, well, women are working, women are doing everything that we're doing, so why can't they court us? I feel like a lot of men are really thinking like on that level, and it's like they're not really realizing, because not saying that, this is everybody's situation, but a lot of them don't have fathers that were with their mothers to look up to and see how that dynamic operated.
Well, I have a question, because I didn't come from a two-parent household. My parents had 4 kids by the time they were 17, and that didn't determine whether I was going to be the woman that I am today. I guess it can have an impact, but did you come from a two-parent household where you seen your dad and your mom doing certain things?
No, I come from a two-parent household, but a very toxic one.
Mm-hmm.
They really didn't show each other much love. But what I do notice in saying that is that the way women and men take those experiences is a lot different, because, as a woman, it's more about how you receive love in a way, about how you give love. But if you're not seeing a man in your house show the appreciation to your mother, as a man, you're not really going to see why you should do it for another woman unless that your mother is like actively instilling that in you.
Right. I think I have to agree with that. I think that the lesson is the same. It's just the way that it's being taught. And I'm speaking as a West Indian woman that does have both of her parents who grew up in a very loving 2-parent household. I never really realized that the conversation was so controversial, let's say, until I saw that the conversation was so controversial, because to me, these were normal things. My dad would always take my mom out. He would always take us out. We would always have like family days on Sundays. We would always do these things. It was never a question of who's going to get the money, who's going to spend the money, where we're going to get the money from. Like, my dad would just show up and he would do it. Same as my grandfather. He would just show up and do it. For my grandmother, for all of his kids, as long as he was alive, it was never like a question. So now for me, it's not even about the fact that it's a newer generation. I think it's just the way that the lesson's being taught. And that's why I throw it back to the rappers and the Instagram models, because now you have like Carisha, JT, you know, people like this being like, well, pay for this pussy nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like the message is, it's giving,
It's
but
distorted.
it's just the way that it's given.
Yeah.
I think also too, the men also market themselves in that way as well.
Yeah.
They
Right.
place value in having more money than the next man, or
The Cuban
having the
links, all
better
that.
watch
They do.
than the next
Right,
man, or
right.
having the better car than the next man, or having the bigger section and the bigger bottles than the next man. So it's these things that they work towards
Right.
to shit on the next man, but then they also, it's a double-edged sword, because now when the women also want them for those same things that they are marketing themselves on, now it's an issue. Now it's, she just wants me for my money. She
Right.
just wants me because I have this car. Well, that's the way you're marketing your own self to the public. And it's the same for women. If you only market yourself a certain type of way, it's going to come with a certain type of energy and a certain type of respect.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're online and you only shaking your ass and you're only doing this, that, and the third, you're going to get a certain type of attention from men.
For sure.
If you put yourself in a different type of position, men and women alike will not try you in that way.
Yeah.
And I feel like if men were to handle themselves better and accordingly, they will see that it's not just about the money. I think the money is important.
Yeah.
You need to be stable and you need to have income and you need to be able to make sure that we can live a certain type of life, because I'm also going to bring that to the table as well.
Right.
I'm not someone that's out here, you know, don't have their stuff together, but we should be meeting each other halfway.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you're only being used for money, then that's probably all you really bring to the
That's
table.
what you're
Yeah.
leading with.
I was
You know
gonna
what
say
mean?
some of these men will be a little delusional and they will go after women that they know don't like them, don't want to give them the time of day, will keep going after them and keep throwing different things at them to bait them, and then be confused as to 2-3 months down the road as to, oh, well, it hasn't really progressed, or, oh, I feel like she really wants me for just for my money. And it's like, you knew that from jump, but you just hoped that she would fall in love, or, you know, things would progress if you threw more things at her. But
I want to piggyback off that. So I think the conversation a lot of the times is the 50-50, right? And I watched my grandma and grandpa have been together forever. And he's always led as the man, cutting the grass, paying the bills, doing what he has to do. But he's like, you have to be insane to think that, you know, this whole 60 years we've been together, that I took care of every single bill and every single thing, you know? When guys hear the 50-50 conversation too, they get super triggered. But like, no, you are a man. Like, you should have some pride about yourself that you want to take care of your family. And that is not, it's non-negotiable, you know? And yes, you might not take care of everything all the time. So why are we having this petty conversation about the money? Like, you're a man, lead and be a man.
yeah,
And
it
have
really doesn't have
communication
to do
with
with the
your
money. It's
partner.
the leadership.
Or
Yeah.
get with
You
the
know?
woman that's on your program, because there are women out here that are paymasters. There are women out here that will, you know, take care of you. They will let you live in their home for little of nothing. They don't
Jesus.
require anything of you. Find a woman that's on that program.
Yeah,
I
not
think what
her,
they're
and she is
doing
not
is
me.
they're going for
God.
the higher fruit, and they are expecting that higher fruit to behave like the mango that fell on the ground.
Right,
That's-
the low-hanging fruit.
Yes, it's not the same.
Yes.
It's really not the same.
Correct.
So when you know what you're going for, you know how you have to step. It's just like a job position.
For sure.
You know, when you know that you want to be an accountant, you got to go to school. You got to get that degree. You got to get that CPA. You got to get that license. If you don't have the credentials, you are not qualified for the role. And a lot of times they're going for these women that want those things, and then they want her to be a traditional woman. They want her to bow down to whatever their expectations are, or whatever their program is. And it's like, baby, I'm not getting with that program. That's not the program that I'm going to abide by.
Yeah, for sure.
Covered.
I agree.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it, and that's all. Listen, I have a quote for the women today before we leave. I thought it would be something cute to leave our ladies with a little tidbit. You know, men can also use it as well, but since it's girl talk, it's for the girls. And the quote of the day is, your personal success as a woman starts with knowing yourself, knowing what you want, preparing, executing your plans with poise, determination, and resilience. And that goes for life, and that goes for dating. Listen, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to Girl Talk, Be the Model, Kicking It with Key. All my ladies here, we cannot wait to see y'all for the next episode. Bye. Bye.